January 25th, 2022 Luang Phosri Suriya Khemarato's Satya Dharma Reflection. Opening without grasping it. Limitations will always like that. What is it that is limited to? Limited to circling and repeating within oneself. Open out. Widen out without grasping itself. Opening without grasping itself. No grasping, even the non-grasping itself, so that it will enable to dissolve. The habit of the delusive attachment is always being limited to certain extents. This is repetitious circling. That's why it's called samsara. Open up. Open up widely without grasping the opening or the widening itself. How is it? No grasping, even the non-grasping itself. Well, disregard, even the disregard itself is called no grasping, even the non-grasping itself. It's all about no grasping, even to the non-grasping itself. Don't be obsessed with being repetitious, being monotonous. This is the delusive attachment is monotonous, circling on and on repetitiously. Being obsessed with involvement, significance and meanings is not useful at all. It seems good. Being obsessed with involvement, significance and meaning seems good, huh? Actually, it's not useful at all. Emphasizing only the cycle of the circling of preoccupations collectively. It looks good, huh? But it's not good. Well, with disregard, even the disregard itself. Disregard doesn't obtain itself. The disregard has nothing to do with itself, well with it. That which is not circling. That which is not repetitious, monotonous, not circling. That which is not becoming samsara itself. Disregard, even the disregard itself completely. Completely opening. So that it will be enlightened that it's not about the wide world. No need to talk about the narrow world. The narrow-minded. Open up in a way without grasping it. So that it will be enlightened that it is not about the wide world. Neither is about the narrow-minded, being deluded to the personal world. disregard even the disregard itself. The disregard is not about anything within itself. It's uninvolved with itself. That which is not circling, that which is not going back and forth. Disregard. Disregard from itself. Otherwise, it will not be ended. The circling, being obsessed with repetitious, being monotonous, on and on, in this way and that way. That which is not relevant to habits. Disregard even the disregard itself, so that it will be cutting within the cutting itself. This is not to be deluded, to use cutting to cut anything. It's not an obsession to attempt to be fixated or to try to cut anything in whatever ways. So that it will be cutting within the cutting itself. Disregard even the disregard itself. That which has nothing to do with circling. That which has nothing to do with repetitious or monotonous with anything at all. Disregard constantly. Disregard from the disregard itself. When the habit is always circling within mental elements, within mental karma, being obsessed with the circulation of the mind. Disregard constantly, disregard from the disregard itself. Then it will cut off the delusion to circle within the mind and its karmic cycle. So don't be obsessed with any types of the mano, of the mind. There is no need to be considerate with the mind at all. Disregard completely. Disregard from itself. Disregard even the disregard itself. Disregard that is not relevant to itself completely, constantly. It will give ending to the entire circling. The circling within states of mind, the states of Dharma attainment. The attempt to involve is the circling itself. It seems good, but it's not really good. Being obsessed with significance and meanings and involvements seems good, but it's not truly good. To be truly good, it has to be completely disregard within itself. The force of the purification of the extinction collectively will be greatly. The force of the helping through the enlightenment or cutting deluded knowing will be greatly. This is not about making it worse. Don't be busy adding one's own samsara towards samsara at large. It's not about grasping the non-grasping itself. It's the disregard from itself. Go beyond the big heart. No need to talk about small heart, tiny heart. Go beyond the big heart, that which has nothing to do with the heart or the mind. Disregard within itself. Uninvolved within the uninvolved itself. Don't be obsessed to spread out one's own samsara towards one another. Don't be obsessed to involve and give meanings and significance towards one another. Disregard within itself. Disregard even the disregard itself.